Behind the glitz and glamour of Hollywood lies a reality far darker than most imagine. Today, we're diving into the lives of 22 actors whose stories took a dramatic turn, not on screen, but in real life. These are the stars who once shone brightly, but now find themselves behind bars, facing serious consequences for their actions. From shocking scandals to unbelievable crimes, each case holds its own twist. Stay tuned as we uncover the reasons why these familiar faces are now serving time, exposing the side of fame few dare to discuss. Amy Locane, best known for her role as Sandy Harling on the iconic TV show Melrose Place, found herself at the center of a tragic and life-altering incident on June 27, 2010, in Montgomery Township, New Jersey. That night, while driving under the influence, Locane collided with another vehicle at 53 miles per hour in a 35 miles per hour zone, leading to devastating consequences. The accident resulted in the death of Helen Seaman, a 60-year-old woman, and left her husband, Fred Seaman, seriously injured. Amy's blood alcohol level was nearly 3 times the legal limit, intensifying the severity of the case. This tragic incident thrust her into a lengthy and turbulent legal battle that would stretch for a decade. Initially, Locane was charged with second-degree vehicular homicide and third-degree assault by auto. Her sentencing in 2012 sparked significant public outcry. The judge sentenced her to only 3 years in prison, a decision many felt was far too lenient given the irreversible loss of life. The judge cited mitigating factors, such as her lack of prior criminal record and her responsibility for 2 young children, as reasons for the relatively light sentence. However, the Seaman family, alongside the prosecution, argued that this punishment failed to truly reflect the gravity of her actions, pushing for a harsher penalty. Their fight for justice led to years of appeals, resentencing hearings, and heightened media attention. During this tumultuous period, Locane's personal life also unraveled. Her husband filed for divorce and sought custody of their 2 daughters. Finally, in 2020, after years of legal challenges, Amy Locane was resentenced to 8 years in prison, with the requirement to serve a minimum of 6 years and 10 months before being eligible for parole. Today, she remains incarcerated at the Edna Mahan Correctional Facility for Women, having recently lost an appeal to reduce her sentence further. What are your thoughts on Amy Locane's case? Do you think justice was ultimately served, or did her celebrity status impact the course of her sentencing? The American Ninja Warrior community was rocked to its core in August 2020 when a beloved champion, Drew Drexel, was arrested on disturbing charges. This once celebrated athlete, known for his incredible feats of strength and agility, now faces a grim reality. Drexel, the 2019 American Ninja Warrior champion, was accused of heinous crimes involving a minor. The allegations, which surfaced after the mother of a teenage girl came forward, paint a shocking picture of a man who used his fame to exploit a vulnerable young person. The disturbing details of the case, including explicit communication and interstate travel for illicit purposes, have sent shockwaves through the sports world. In the wake of these revelations, NBC and American Ninja Warrior swiftly distanced themselves from Drexel, removing all his content from their platforms. Sponsors and partners also severed ties, effectively ending his career in competitive sports entertainment. As of September 2024, Drexel's legal battle continues, with the potential for a 45-year prison sentence hanging over his head. This tragic downfall serves as a stark reminder that even the most admired individuals can harbor dark secrets. What are your thoughts on this shocking turn of events? Do you believe justice will be served? Share your opinions in the comments below. Michael Jace, once celebrated for his role as Officer Julian Lowe on The Shield, is now a haunting figure in a tragic real-life crime story that shocked the entertainment world. On May 19, 2014, in a horrifying turn of events, Jace shot and killed his wife, April Jace, in their Los Angeles home. They had been married for over a decade and were raising 2 young sons together. The motive behind the murder stemmed from severe marital issues, financial struggles, and Jace's overwhelming jealousy. In a chilling act, he reportedly taunted April, an avid runner, by shooting her twice in the legs and saying, "If you like running, then run to heaven." Tragically, the couple's two sons, ages 5 and 8, witnessed the horrifying crime firsthand. Following the shooting, Jace himself called 911 to report the incident, confessing that he had shot his wife. During the subsequent investigation, it was revealed that Jace's jealousy had spiraled out of control, fueled by his belief that April intended to leave him. Financial troubles only added to his emotional instability. He had declared bankruptcy just a few years earlier, in 2011. The trial brought to light a disturbing history of domestic violence, showing a pattern of aggression that ultimately culminated in April's death. Initially charged with first-degree murder, Jace faced the possibility of life without parole. However, in May 2016, the jury convicted him of second-degree murder, determining that while his actions were intentional, they did not meet the legal criteria for premeditation. Jace was sentenced to 40 years to life, meaning he won't be eligible for parole until he has served at least 40 years, a de facto life sentence given that he was already 54 at the time of sentencing. Currently, he resides in the California State Prison, Corcoran, joining the ranks of other disgraced celebrities whose lives took a dark turn. What are your thoughts on Michael Jace's story? Do you think justice was served, or should the outcome have been different? Share your views in the comments below, and let us know which story shocked you the most. Danny Masterson, once beloved for his role as Stephen Hyde on the popular TV show That 70s Show, Danny Masterson's life has taken a dark and irreversible turn. Masterson was recently convicted on multiple counts of sexual assault, a shocking downfall for a figure once embedded in Hollywood's spotlight. Allegations against him first emerged in the early 2000s, with 3 women coming forward, accusing him of separate incidents of sexual assault between 2001 and 2003. Each of these women was connected to the Church of Scientology, of which Masterson was not only a member, but also held considerable influence. According to their accounts, the church played a significant role in silencing them, reportedly pressuring them to avoid legal action and even threatening them with excommunication and other severe consequences if they went public. For years, these accusations remained hidden from the public eye, overshadowed by the influence and pressure exerted by the Church of Scientology. It wasn't until the rise of the Me Too movement in 2017 that their stories resurfaced, inspiring renewed investigations and lending a voice to those who felt silenced. In response to these revived complaints, the Los Angeles Police Department reopened the case, leading to formal charges in 2020. Prosecutors argued that Masterson used his status within the church to evade justice for nearly 2 decades. Following an intense trial that stretched for months, Masterson was convicted in May 2023 on 2 counts of forcible sexual assault, with the jury deadlocked on a 3rd charge, resulting in a mistrial on that count. In September 2023, he was sentenced to 30 years to life in prison, meaning he won't be eligible for parole until he reaches the age of 78. Masterson is currently serving his sentence at the California Men's Colony, a medium to minimum security prison in San Luis Obispo. But did you know that his younger brother, Christopher Masterson, starred as Francis and Malcolm in the Middle? A tale of 2 brothers, one Hollywood family, and drastically different paths. What do you think of Danny Masterson's story? Did it surprise you? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to share your take on the influence of fame and power in Hollywood scandals. Well, Hayden, once celebrated as the firearms expert and star of Discovery Channel's Sons of Guns, saw his reputation and career obliterated in 2014. Known for his skill in gunsmithing and his larger-than-life presence on the show, Hayden's fall from grace came with shocking allegations that would forever change his life. In August 2014, he was arrested and charged with aggravated sexual assault of a minor. Among his accusers was his own daughter, Stephanie Ford, a fellow cast member, who bravely came forward to accuse him of abusing her during her childhood. Her accusations fueled an already growing list of horrifying charges against him, as additional victims stepped forward, claiming he had preyed upon them as well. As the gravity of Hayden's actions became clear, the consequences were swift. Discovery Channel immediately canceled Sons of Guns and Red Jacket Firearms. His company severed all ties with him, even losing its firearms manufacturing license. Hayden's family members, especially Stephanie, publicly condemned his actions, distancing themselves from his tarnished legacy. In April 2017, Hayden faced justice. He was convicted on 2 counts of aggravated sexual assault and 1 count of forcible sexual assault, leading to 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole and an additional 40 years. The judge ordered that Hayden serve these sentences consecutively, guaranteeing he would never walk free. Just 3 months later, he received a 3rd life sentence after pleading no contest to another forcible sexual assault charge. Now, at 59 years old, Hayden serves his time in Louisiana State Penitentiary, marking the final chapter in a once famous life, now destroyed by horrific crimes. What are your thoughts on Hayden's shocking downfall? Did you watch Sons of Guns and follow his story? Let us know in the comments below. Josh Duggar, a former star of the popular reality TV show 19 Kids and Counting, once symbolized a wholesome family image. However, behind the facade of a perfect family life, a disturbing truth emerged. In 2015, allegations surfaced that Duggar had molested several underage girls, including a family friend. This shocking revelation led to the cancellation of the show and a significant public backlash. But the scandal didn't end there. In 2021, Duggar was arrested on federal charges related to the possession of child pornography. The explicit nature of the material was so severe that it shocked even seasoned law enforcement officials. Following a trial, Duggar was found guilty on all counts and sentenced to over 12 years in federal prison. This harsh sentence reflects the gravity of his crimes and the need to protect children. As Duggar faces the consequences of his actions, the case serves as a stark reminder that even those who appear to have perfect lives can harbor dark secrets. It also highlights the importance of addressing sexual abuse and holding perpetrators accountable, no matter their social status. What do you think about the sentence handed down to Josh Duggar? Do you believe it's fair? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Harvey Weinstein, once a powerful force in Hollywood, is now synonymous with sexual abuse and misconduct. The man behind iconic films like Pulp Fiction and The King's Speech had a dark side that was hidden for decades. In 2017, a wave of allegations from numerous women, including A-list actresses, shattered Weinstein's carefully crafted image. These women bravely came forward to expose a pattern of predatory behavior that spanned decades. From unwanted advances to outright sexual assault, Weinstein's abuse of power was systemic and far-reaching. The fallout was swift and severe. Weinstein was expelled from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. His company collapsed, and his reputation was irreparably tarnished. He was arrested and charged with multiple felonies, including rape and sexual assault. In 2020, Weinstein was convicted on some of the charges and sentenced to decades in prison. However, a recent court decision overturned the New York convictions, sparking outrage among survivors and advocates. While the legal battle continues, one thing is certain: Harvey Weinstein's legacy is forever tainted by his heinous crimes. What do you think about the recent court decision? Do you believe justice has been served? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Jared Fogle, once the inspiring subway guy who captivated America with his dramatic 200-pound weight loss journey, shocked the world when his dark double life came to light. Rising to fame in the late 1990s, Fogle's transformation story became a powerful marketing tool for Subway. He was everywhere, featured in commercials, speaking at public events, and engaging in charity initiatives focused on childhood obesity. He even made appearances in popular movies like Sharknado, embodying the picture of health and motivation. But the man behind this public persona was hiding a deeply disturbing secret. In 2007, the FBI launched an investigation into Fogle after receiving a tip from journalist Rochelle Herman. who had secretly recorded disturbing conversations in which Fogle expressed his intent to commit illegal acts involving minors. As the investigation progressed, the shocking truth unfolded. Fogle was actively involved in the possession and distribution of explicit materials involving minors and had engaged in other illicit acts. Some of this material was obtained from Russell Taylor, the executive director of Fogle's own charity, the Jared Foundation, who had secretly recorded disturbing footage in his own home. This revelation destroyed Fogle's once sterling reputation, turning him from a symbol of health and hope to one of the most reviled figures in the public eye. Following these revelations, Fogle's wife filed for divorce, cutting all ties in the wake of the scandal. In November 2015, Fogle pleaded guilty to the charges as part of a plea deal, leading to a sentence of 15 years and 8 months in federal prison. The judge ordered him to serve at least 85% of his sentence, meaning he won't be eligible for release until approximately 2029. Additionally, Fogle was fined $175,000 and ordered to pay $1.4 million in restitution to 14 victims. Today, the once adored spokesperson serves his sentence at the Federal Correctional Institution in Englewood, Colorado, a low-security prison known for housing white-collar criminals. This story serves as a stark reminder that appearances can be deceiving and that even those who appear most trustworthy can hide dark secrets. What do you think about Jared Fogle's shocking fall from grace? Do you believe justice was served? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this. Zach Avery, a Hollywood actor who played Mike in the 2021 film The Getaway, shocked the entertainment world by orchestrating one of the largest Ponzi schemes in recent memory. Known as a rising star with a seemingly glamorous lifestyle, Avery hid a dark secret. From 2014 to 2019, he convinced investors that his company, 1NMM Capital LLC, held lucrative licensing deals with Netflix and HBO to distribute foreign films. Promising returns of up to 40%, Avery forged contracts and created fake documents to build credibility, luring hundreds of investors into his trap. Over 5 years, Avery defrauded investors out of more than $650 million, using new funds to pay off earlier investors, a classic Ponzi scheme. The truth came to light in 2019, exposing that his luxurious life, including a $6 million mansion and luxury cars, had been funded by stolen money. In 2021, Avery's world crumbled. He was arrested for securities and wire fraud, and on the same day, his wife filed for divorce and sought sole custody of their son. Avery pleaded guilty later that year and was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison, where he will remain until around 2042. But Avery's story isn't the only shocking tale. Joe's son, known for his role as Random Task in Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery, now serves a life sentence for one of the most brutal crimes imaginable, a shocking turn from his Hollywood persona. Before his acting days, Son was a mixed martial artist, though his record was far from impressive, with 0 wins and 4 losses. But his fame as a quirky villain in Austin Powers would soon be eclipsed by a horrifying crime that dates back to Christmas Eve of 1990. On that fateful night, Son and an accomplice kidnapped and assaulted a woman in Huntington Beach, California. The two men committed a heinous assault, subjecting their victim to unspeakable violence and humiliation before finally letting her go. Despite the severity of the attack, Son managed to evade justice for nearly 2 decades. But in 2008, while facing unrelated minor charges, Son's DNA was entered into the national database, providing the breakthrough needed in this long unsolved case. His DNA matched the evidence collected in the 1990 assault, finally bringing hope of justice for the victim, who had endured years of pain without knowing the identity of her attackers. Charged with multiple felonies, including kidnapping, torture, and assault, Son faced a grim legal battle. Yet due to the statute of limitations, he could not be tried for the sexual assault itself, leaving prosecutors to pursue him on charges of felony torture. In 2011, he was convicted and sentenced to 7 years to life in prison. However, Sun's violent tendencies didn't end with his imprisonment. In 2017, while serving his life sentence at Wasco State Prison in California, he was accused of killing his cellmate, a convicted sex offender. This additional crime led to a charge of voluntary manslaughter, adding 27 more years to his sentence. Sun now serves a 34 years to life sentence in the same prison. Jo Sun's story is one of a chilling dual life, from Hollywood actor to convicted felon. What do you think of this shocking case? Do you believe his sentence reflects the gravity of his actions? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe for more stories that delve into the hidden lives of Skylar DeLeon, once an actor in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, committed one of California's most disturbing crimes in 2004. DeLeon, along with accomplices, orchestrated a chilling plan to murder Tom and Jackie Hawks, a retired couple who had been living their dream aboard a beautiful yacht. The Hawks, planning to sell their yacht to be closer to family, were unsuspecting as DeLeon posed as a potential buyer, expressing interest in a test run. Once they were out at sea, however, the plan took a dark turn. With the help of DeLeon's wife, Jennifer Henderson, and 2 other accomplices, the couple overpowered Tom and Jackie, binding them to the yacht's anchor and casting them into the Pacific Ocean, leaving them to perish. The motive behind this horrific crime was financial greed. DeLeon sought to steal the yacht to finance personal expenses, including what defense lawyers later claimed was a need for money for gender reassignment surgery. The brutal crime not only shocked the community, but also marked DeLeon as one of the most calculating criminals in recent California history. Following the murders, DeLeon was charged with first-degree murder, with special circumstances of murder for financial gain, making DeLeon eligible for the death penalty. But the Hawks' deaths weren't DeLeon's only crime. Authorities linked DeLeon to the 2003 murder of John Jarvie, who was found dead in Mexico. In 2008, DeLeon was convicted of 3 counts of first-degree murder for the killings of Tom and Jackie Hawks and John Jarvie. In 2009, the court sentenced DeLeon to death by lethal injection. However, due to California's moratorium on the death penalty, DeLeon will spend life on death row at San Quentin State Prison, one of the state's most notorious facilities. Jen Shah, once a dazzling figure on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, found her world unraveling in a spectacular legal scandal that captivated viewers and shocked fans. On March 30th, 2021, she was arrested, accused of running a massive, nationwide telemarketing fraud scheme. Alongside her assistant, Stuart Smith, Shah was alleged to have defrauded hundreds of vulnerable people, many of whom were elderly and had limited computer skills. Authorities revealed that Shah's scheme involved selling non-existent business services under the guise of coaching, website design, and other hollow promises, services that ultimately left her victims in financial despair. The U.S. Department of Justice claimed Shah had been involved in this elaborate fraud for nearly a decade. Her public image of luxury and opulence, as showcased on Real Housewives, had in part been funded by the profits from this dark enterprise. In a twist that only intensified the public's fascination, cameras captured Shah's arrest as part of the show, and her legal battles quickly became the central drama in her storyline. Fans and co-stars watched as Shah, defiant at first, maintained her innocence, claiming she was wrongfully accused. She initially pleaded not guilty, sparking heated debates and speculation among her supporters and detractors alike. But as her trial approached in July 2022, Shah's stance shifted. In a dramatic reversal, she changed her plea to guilty, finally admitting her involvement in the fraudulent operation. The charges she faced were serious: conspiracy to commit wire fraud and conspiracy to commit money laundering. Among these, the wire fraud charge alone could have sentenced her to 30 years behind bars. In January 2023, Shah was sentenced to 6.5 years, or 78 months, in federal prison, far less than the potential maximum, but accompanied by a hefty financial penalty. She was ordered to forfeit $6.5 million and pay more than $9 million in restitution to her victims. This comparatively lenient sentence reflected her late plea and promises to compensate those harmed. Now, at 50 years old, Shah is serving her sentence at a minimum security federal prison camp in Bryan, Texas, with a projected release in 2029. Remember Jerry Harris, the bubbly, energetic star from Netflix's Cheer? The one who could light up a room with his infectious smile and dazzling cheerleading skills? Well, behind that cheerful facade lurked a sinister secret. In a shocking turn of events, the 25-year-old was arrested in September 2020 on charges of child sexual exploitation. The allegations against him were as disturbing as they were unexpected. Twin teenage boys accuse Harris of repeatedly soliciting explicit images and videos from them, starting when they were just 13 years old. The FBI investigation that followed uncovered a disturbing pattern of behavior. Harris had allegedly used social media platforms like Snapchat to prey on multiple underage boys, enticing them to send him explicit content. The evidence against him was damning, including explicit messages and videos that he had sent and received. The news sent shockwaves through the cheerleading community and beyond. How could someone so beloved and seemingly wholesome be capable of such heinous acts? The production team behind Cheer quickly distanced themselves from Harris, and his sponsors and partners severed ties with him. In February 2022, Harris pleaded guilty to 2 federal charges as part of a plea deal. He was subsequently sentenced to 12 years in federal prison for child sexual exploitation. Upon his release, he will face 8 years of supervised release, during which he will be closely monitored and restricted in his use of technology and interactions with minors. What do you think about this shocking revelation? Are you surprised by Jerry Harris's dark side? Let us know in the comments below. This is the shocking story of Colin Walker, better known as Superfly, a once popular entertainer whose promises of fame and fortune quickly turned dark. In 2018, Walker was arrested on multiple charges of sexual assault, exposing an alleged sinister pattern that left fans and followers stunned. Walker, according to prosecutors, used his celebrity status to lure unsuspecting women, primarily aspiring models, with the allure of professional photo shoots and tantalizing roles in the entertainment industry. Behind the guise of career-building opportunities, prosecutors claim Walker's intentions were far more disturbing. For years, he allegedly preyed upon the trust of these women, only to betray it through assault. By the time of his arrest, a shocking number of women had come forward, with over a dozen accusers revealing a dark side that few had suspected. Walker's influence, it seemed, had not only opened doors but also closed them, on the trust and safety of those who sought his mentorship. Years later, in October 2022, Walker's trial reached a dramatic conclusion. After days of gripping courtroom testimony, the jury found Walker guilty of multiple counts of forcible sexual assault, solidifying his descent from fame to infamy. The sentence? An astonishing 50 years to life in prison. Walker's case resonated far beyond the courtroom, as the judge sternly highlighted how Walker had allegedly exploited his influence and fame to commit his crimes, leaving a haunting impact on his victims. Though he was acquitted of charges related to 3 of the 10 victims, the lengthy prison sentence all but assures that Walker, at just 29, will likely spend the rest of his life behind bars, with no hope of release until the 2070s. Joe Exotic, the 61-year-old former zoo owner turned internet sensation, became a household name through the wildly popular Netflix docuseries Tiger King. With his eccentric personality, outlandish lifestyle, and a zoo filled with big cats, Joe Exotic's story is one that few could have imagined. But behind the quirky persona and the hundreds of exotic animals, a darker tale unfolded, a tale that would lead to Joe's ultimate downfall. Joe's troubles began to spiral when his years-long feud with animal rights activist Carole Baskin the founder of Big Cat Rescue, intensified. Baskin accused Joe of mistreating animals and dedicated herself to shutting down his Greater Wynwood Exotic Animal Park in Oklahoma. In response, Joe launched a relentless campaign against Carol, filled with harassment and threats, but his actions soon went far beyond words. In 2017, Joe was accused of hiring two men in separate attempts to murder Carol. The first man, an employee at his zoo, accepted payment but never went through with the plan. The second, an undercover FBI agent posing as a hitman, was offered $110,000, sealing Joe's fate as the case unraveled. In 2019, Joe Exotic was arrested and charged with 2 counts of murder for hire against Carol Baskin. But that wasn't all. Authorities also charged Joe with multiple wildlife violations, including 17 counts of animal abuse for killing 5 tigers to make space for other animals, violating the Endangered Species Act, and 9 counts of breaking the Lacey Act by illegally selling tiger cubs across state lines. In January 2020, Joe Exotic was convicted and sentenced to 22 years in federal prison. However, in July 2021, a federal appeals court ruled that Joe's sentencing had been miscalculated. The 2 murder-for-hire charges should have been treated as one for sentencing purposes. In early 2022, he was resentenced to 21 years. In a surprising twist, Joe revealed in late 2021 that he had been diagnosed with prostate cancer and began publicly seeking compassionate release, although his requests have yet to be granted. Currently, Joe Exotic is set for release in 2035 when he'll be 72 years old. What do you think about Joe Exotic's wild rise and fall? Do you think his sentence is fair? Let us know in the comments, and make sure to subscribe for more shocking stories like this one. Ryan Grantham seemed to be on the path to stardom until March 2020, when a chilling revelation shook his fans and the world. He was arrested for the murder of his mother, Barbara Waite. The shocking details of the crime left everyone reeling. Grantham, just 21 at the time, shot his 64-year-old mother in the back while she played the piano in their Squamish, British Columbia home. But that wasn't the end of his chilling story. It was only the beginning. After committing the unthinkable, Grantham didn't stop to grieve or reflect. Instead, he embarked on a path that revealed even darker intentions. He packed his car with firearms, ammunition, and even Molotov cocktails, heading east towards Ottawa. His destination? The Canadian Prime Minister himself. Grantham later confessed that his original plan was to assassinate Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. But after hours on the road, he changed his mind, pulling into a Vancouver police station to confess to his mother's murder instead. The revelations in court painted a haunting picture. Prosecutors detailed how Grantham had been plagued by severe depression, suicidal thoughts, and violent urges leading up to the crime. Evidence showed he had even rehearsed his mother's murder in the days prior, going so far as to film the act. His mental health struggles became a focal point of his trial, raising difficult questions about responsibility, premeditation, and the limits of personal control. In September 2022, the court delivered its final verdict: life in prison with the possibility of parole after 14 years, meaning he may be eligible for release around 2036 when he will be in his late 30s. While the judge acknowledged his mental health struggles in youth, they could not overlook the chilling level of planning and potential for further harm in Grantham's actions. This case continues to haunt those who followed his career, leaving an unsettling reminder of how fame can hide deeply buried demons. What do you think led Grantham down this dark path? Were you shocked by this turn of events? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Julie Todd Krisly, stars of the reality show Krisly Knows Best, went from a life of luxury to prison cells in a scandal that captured national headlines. Known for flaunting their wealth and family dynamics on TV, the Krisly shocked fans when, in 2019, they faced charges of tax evasion, bank fraud, and wire fraud. Federal prosecutors claimed the Krislys had orchestrated a complex scheme, deceiving banks into granting them millions of dollars in loans through falsified financial documents. Authorities allege they went to extreme lengths to hide their income, allowing them to maintain an opulent lifestyle while avoiding taxes. The allegations were staggering. Todd Krisly, who built his on-screen persona as a financially savvy businessman, allegedly fabricated documents to obtain $30 million in personal loans. When they could no longer keep up with payments, the couple filed for bankruptcy in 2012, wiping out $20 million in debt. Yet, as federal investigators dug deeper, they uncovered what appeared to be years of fraudulent activity. Throughout their trial, Krisly Knows Best continued to air, but the cracks in their public image began to show. Their children, especially daughter Savannah, publicly defended them, while son Jace focused on his spin-off show. But in November 2022, the verdict came down hard. Todd Krisly was sentenced to 12 years in prison, and Julie to 7 years. Both would also face 16 months of probation upon their release. Today, 55-year-old Todd Krisly is held at the federal prison camp in Pensacola, Florida, with his earliest release date projected around 2034. Julie, 51, serves her sentence at the Federal Medical Center in Lexington, Kentucky, with potential release in 2030. Despite the heavy sentences, their legal team hasn't given up, filing appeals in hopes of overturning their convictions or reducing their prison terms. The Krislys' downfall leaves many stunned. How did this high-profile family go from TV fame to felony convictions? Did their reality show lifestyle push them to maintain appearances at all costs? Or was it simply the consequence of living beyond their means? Let us know what you think about their journey from fame to prison in the comments below. Yong Su, the beloved actor who captivated global audiences as Player 001 in Squid Game, now finds himself at the center of a legal storm that has shocked fans worldwide. Rising to international fame with his humble and wise portrayal on the hit show, Oh's image has taken a dramatic turn following allegations of inappropriate conduct dating back to 2017. In 2021, as his career soared, a woman came forward claiming that Oh had touched her inappropriately during an encounter, an accusation that initially led nowhere due to insufficient evidence. However, in 2022, the case was reopened under renewed scrutiny, and the actor found himself under investigation. Yong Su vehemently denied the allegations, maintaining that he had only briefly touched the woman's hand, an action he insists was neither sexual nor intended to cause discomfort. He expressed regret if his actions were misunderstood, but continued to assert his innocence. In late 2022, South Korean prosecutors formally charged Oh with indecent assault, a serious charge under South Korean law that covers non-consensual acts of a sexual nature, though it falls short of forcible assault. The charges sparked an immediate backlash. The South Korean Ministry of Culture, Sports, and Tourism quickly halted a high-profile advertising campaign featuring the actor, and fans across the globe were left stunned. Yong Su had not only been praised for his memorable role in Squid Game, but also made history with his Golden Globe win as the first Korean actor to receive the Best Supporting Actor award. In March 2024, at 79 years old, Yong Su was sentenced to 8 months in prison, a sentence suspended for 2 years. Additionally, he was ordered to attend a 40-hour program for sexual violence treatment, a stark reminder of the scandal that now shadows his celebrated career. What do you think of these surprising allegations against Yong Su? Do you believe his story? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Sean Diddy Combs, a music and film icon, finds himself entangled in a scandal that could end his legacy. On September 16, 2024, he was arrested in a Manhattan hotel, facing charges of sex trafficking, racketeering, and organizing illicit escort services. According to an indictment that traces back to 2009, Diddy is accused of leading a criminal enterprise that allegedly coerced women into extended exploitation. Prosecutors claim he used his immense influence, threats, and even drugs to control victims, all while meticulously hiding his actions to maintain his public image. Despite the mounting allegations, Diddy has pleaded not guilty, with his defense team arguing that he's the target of an unjust prosecution. But the evidence presented paints a troubling picture. During raids on his properties, Authorities allegedly found firearms, large quantities of lubricant, and other items that could link him to the charges. The prosecution also put forward allegations of abuse and manipulation that have left fans shocked and divided. Denied bail twice, Diddy now awaits trial at the Metropolitan Detention Center, held under suicide watch as a precaution. With a possible sentence of 15 years to life if convicted, the stakes couldn't be higher. This case is set to be one of the most talked about celebrity trials of recent years. Were you shocked by these allegations against Diddy? Do you think he's innocent or guilty? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Tamara Lynn SYDCH, known to WWE fans as Sunny, once held the title of the original WWE Diva and captivated audiences with her charisma and talent. But the story behind the spotlight reveals a much darker path. Rising to stardom in the 1990s, SYDCH's life off-screen became a whirlwind of legal troubles, addiction, and heartbreaking setbacks. However, it was a tragic incident on March 25, 2022, that marked her most serious downfall. In Ormond Beach, Florida, SYDCH was involved in a devastating car crash, driving under the influence. She reportedly rear-ended a vehicle at high speed, leading to the tragic death of 75-year-old Julian Lassiter. At the time of the accident, her blood alcohol content was reportedly 3.5 times the legal limit, turning this tragic accident into an unforgivable act. The aftermath of the crash brought a flood of legal charges upon SYDCH, including DUI manslaughter, driving with a suspended license, and causing serious bodily harm. Her record of multiple prior DUIs only worsened her standing in court as a repeat offender, and it quickly became clear that leniency was unlikely. The family of Julian Lassiter, mourning the sudden loss of their loved one, filed a civil lawsuit against SYDCH, seeking over $100,000 in damages, further compounding her legal troubles. In August 2023, SYDCH pleaded no contest to the charges, and the court handed down a sobering sentence: 17 years in prison for DUI manslaughter. Under Florida law, this charge carries a mandatory minimum, and given her previous offenses, the court saw little reason to reduce her punishment. Now 51, SYDCH will likely be released around 2039, facing the reality of a life shaped by addiction and legal consequences. Tamara Lynn SYDCH's journey from fame to infamy is a haunting reminder of how quickly success can spiral into tragedy. How did the once celebrated Sunny end up here? Was it the pressures of fame, addiction, or choices gone terribly wrong? Let us know your thoughts on this tragic downfall in the comments below.